Hey family, hey family. Welcome back for episode two of From Soldier to Civilian in 8 days. Continuing my countdown, I have 7 days left. I've got 7 days left. And I have a little bit of a surprise and something that's awesome. I've got to make sure I cover my social, but I was able to find and locate the my original my original certificate from AIT from Fort Lee. Ain't that awesome? The 25th of November, 1998. That's awesome. So I've got the original document for that. But today we're going to pick it back up in 2002 from after the time I was pulled out of college and I had to report to the 75th Division. Ended up with Task Force Dependable out in Fort Riley, Kansas. And that story starts like this. You are ordered to active duty as a member of your reserve component unit for the period indicated unless sooner released or unless extended. Proceed from your current location in sufficient time to report by the date specified. You enter active duty upon reporting to your unit home station. Report to 75th 33rd Brigade CSS, and it gives the address, and we report it to Fort Riley, Kansas. These orders, the original orders, mind you, are dated 23 January 2003. That's when we started this journey. And so let me start by saying, and I've told my students this in the past, that I was the worst E4 in the Army. Remember, I had got essentially forced into the IRR back in 99 because my railroad unit had disbanded and the detachment that I was actually attending, nobody told me anything. So I proceeded to college and was doing well. I was on the dean's list, didn't get to finish, so I'll be going back to finish my degrees. And got called up. Didn't know that this unit was actually getting ready to mobilize. I thought that they were just a unit where older soldiers went to retire and I was going to end up forcing my way out. I didn't want to be in anymore. The Army had made no sense to me. It had no purpose for me, and it was absolutely useless. And this is after I had met a lot of good people I still talk to, good friends down in Huntsville, Alabama, and I was in college with Ruben and Travis and Jackie and Will and Sir and all those good folks. So I'm back in St. Louis where I don't want to be. I went to the Army to escape St. Louis in the first place, and then I went to college to once again get out of St. Louis again. And so now I found myself stuck in St. Louis, and I am getting sent to Fort Riley. Well, where the hell is Fort Riley? I don't want to go to Fort Riley. I want to go back to college. I'm doing well. I'm killing it. I'm working 3 jobs, got a full-time student, and I'm doing my damn thing. At least that's what I thought. But yeah, it took me a long time to get here. Had a bad attitude. I remember I got about 9 council statements in one morning from my supervisor at the time, Sergeant First Class Valerie Glesner, and he was just trying to do his best to spread me away. And it was rough. It was rough. But we got pushed forward to Fort Riley, and he had to stay in the rear. During which time, my buddy and my friend Angela Mullins ended up becoming Staff Sergeant Mullins, becoming my supervisor for a small portion of that actual mobilization. And Robert McKean, he was a captain at that time. He ended up becoming the OIC. He was the S4. So again, 92 Yankee. That's the only MOS that I hold. And so I was a supply clerk. And so we are at Fort Riley, Kansas, living in the barracks. And we made the most of it. We did our damnedest to make the most of it. And when I say we, I mean we. So this is my buddy Pedro Ortiz with my supervisor, Angela Mullins. And he was the maintenance NCO. He was AGR, or active duty. So the unit that I was in, the 75th, it had multiple different spots. It was ACRC, active component and reserve component. So we had active duty AGR soldiers and reserve soldiers that were in that unit. And when I tell you, these folks took me in, coach trained and mentored me on what it is to be a professional. I can't express it enough. In this picture you see Kenneth Franklin, Nate Williams, Martin Lawrence, Big Law. Great group of men that I owe the world to. Nate and Frank took me under their wings, and they straightened me out. There was a point in time where I wouldn't even order my own uniforms as a supply clerk because I was just that disgusted with the Army and I wanted to get out. I did everything I could to get out. I failed PT tests. I showed up late. I was always in civilians for months. I was in civilians. I didn't want to be a part of this. And we got to Fort Riley and they pulled me on. Papa P, Kevin Parks, Nate, Mullins, Frank. These folks showed me what it was and what it means to be a part of a team and to take care of soldiers, and also how to make sure you love your family. You take care of your family, put your family first. I remember all of their kids as just younglings, and now they're all adults. We were forced into the barracks. We ended up moving and skipping barracks multiple different times until they ended up putting us out in hotels. And so we stayed in hotels for a while. But while we were in the barracks, when I tell you we kicked it, man, we kicked it. Oh, I kicked it off. Barbecues. Yeah, table full of drink, good people, good time. We just talking. Now, in this picture, you see what was one of my best friends, Hope Ross. And if you saw me someplace, you saw Hope someplace. If you saw Hope someplace, you saw me in the same spot. Called her Big Sis. Her and Sergeant Major Alfreda Harris retired. They showed me what it was, again, to seriously take care of soldiers and to show people that you care. To show soldiers that you care, despite what they're going through. You care about them and you take care of them. That's family. That's family. They gave their all to me and I appreciate that. Hope Ross, David Fox. I was also the boss rep, better opportunity for single soldiers rep, and I would get tickets to different events. You see us here at a K-State event, and that's a phone in my hand, not a vape, because vapes run out back then. But we were just having a blast. I got a ton of tickets. If you look in the upper right-hand corner, very vaguely, you see JH. Son Williams retired. A shout out to Son Williams. Again, Nate, Hope, golly, Catfish. I called them fish sticks. And Jones, Boneses, man, they gave their all to me. I could have easily been gone, and they refused to give up on me. They absolutely refused to give up on me. There are no words that I can express to show and say or express my gratitude and appreciation for them. Now, this is another one of the trips that I coordinated and organized with the boss for my unit. And this is when we were down and in Disney, down at Disney. And then, life goes on, life moves on. These folks helped and shape the person that I am today. Looking back and for any of my soldiers who appreciated anything that I've done for them, these are the folks that gave me that foundation. They gave their foundation. We spent more time than a little with each other. Man, I love these folks. Tragedy struck. We lost a brother. First son retired, Martin Lawrence. And it was because of his passing that after multiple years had gone by, we ended up reconnecting. You can see that we're all a little bit older. We're all a little bit more refined. So in this picture, you see last son retired, Antonio McWhirter. You see my big sis again, Hope Ross. You see Mo Witt. Witt used to cut my hair in the barracks and in the hotel. And you see one of the guys I used to live with. I shared a lot of time and a lot of good and bad times with this fella right here, Jeffrey Brown. Listen, the Army will pull you in and make you become comfortable with people you would normally not be comfortable with. There were situations that the Army has put me through that I don't wish on anybody. There are times where I didn't even know if I was going to be able to make it home for Christmas. I've missed birthdays. I've missed. We'll get to that later. But throughout it all, it gave me a core group of people that I will always be able to call mine. We shared this experience together. This is going to be a little bit longer than what I expected, but just bear with me, people. I'm walking back through my career. So, law passed, and we all ended up in Iowa. Shout out to Sergeant Major retired Randy Johnson. Also, man, he was my most favorite Sergeant Major ever. That guy knew what it was to look out for people, look out for soldiers, and just, man, hardcore Sergeant Major too. Hardcore. Loved him. And so we're here attending the services for the law, looking back on a lot of different things and just reminiscing. This was in Iowa. And of course, my buddy Brownie and I couldn't skip the chance to share a room again and hang out and catch up. I miss this fella. And just remember what it was to be in the company of another good person. And this was right before we ended up leaving. Morris Whitley, all of us, man, I miss these folks. They gave it all. They gave it their all. And so we lost Law, and shortly after that, a young lady I used to call, still will call, one of my best friends, Hope Ross. We lost her. 2 hard tragedies back to back. Tough to deal with. Even now. We shared a birthday month. We're both June babies. And when we kicked it hard for that fact. We kicked it real hard. But because of Hope's passing, once again brought us back into contact with each other. Here you see Kevin Parks and Douglas Steinmetz, first Sergeant retired. I think he ended up as Sergeant Major. I modeled my ability of being, I was an acting first Sergeant at one point, and I modeled that after, we used to call him Little Biggie, First Sergeant Steinmetz. And here you see Mullins and Frank. We're trying to get our shit together after our friend to rest, our battle buddy. And here again, you see us at her wake, trying to catch up. Colonel Farmer, what a great man. What a great man. Just one of the best officers I've ever had the privilege of serving with. Him and Rob and Teed, just, these are the people that shaped me, that helped me get my confidence as a leader. They entrusted me not only to be a good follower, but they gave me the opportunity to lead. And not just that, if I failed, they picked me up and they showed me the right way of doing things. Oh, it didn't get any better than that for me. So, as we laid our sister to rest, we took that on the chin. But what I did have the opportunity to do, I need to show this picture first, of myself, Mullins, and Frank. Just, again, This is after Hope, laying Hope to rest, trying to get our lives back together, pick the pieces up, and feel normal. And for anybody who's ever lost somebody, you know how that can be a struggle in and of itself, a huge struggle. And so I am proud of this man right here, very proud of him, and I owe him a debt of gratitude like none other. My big brother, Nate Williams. He gave a shit when a lot of people didn't, and I appreciate that. This picture, one of my proudest moments with him is when he became master mason, third degree in Arizona, and I made sure I took a trip out there to support him. He's been long retired. He was retired in this picture, and here you see him with his son. That's Nate Jr. But for anybody who knows me now and doesn't know where I came from, I will show all the pictures again, just in a process of progress, so that you can understand a little bit about how I got to where I am now. There's a lot of things that I pushed through, and I miss these people. And simply saying thank you just doesn't feel like it's enough. But I do want to express that gratitude of at least saying it. So, soldiers of the 75th Division, Task Force Dependable 3 of the 383rd, I give you my deepest and warmest thank yous for helping me get to where I am. Just being able to sit here and say that I have 7 days left in the Army is by and large attributed to you all. I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for helping shape me into being the non-commissioned officer that I am today. I wouldn't have made it here without you all. And so thank you. I love you. I respect you. I miss you all. I miss you all. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't think of you all. And so with that, I will show the plaque that I got from Convoy Live Fire Team. So I was a specialist when I went on board with 3 to 383rd, and I was a supply clerk for a while. It was just Mullins and myself, and she ended up getting redeployed. So she got off mobilization, and by that time, Task Force Dependable had developed, and I was the lowest ranking member. I ended up making Sergeant E5 type. And I was able to, and I was working with Master Sergeant retired Connie Wallace and Sergeant First Class, Master Sergeant retired, I'm guessing, Tyson Robertson, and at the time, Staff Sergeant Jerome Krabby, Staff Sergeant Hubble as well, Captain Pittman. Those were that was the S4 section of the task force. Then I ended up going to the Convoy Live Fire Team, and with the Convoy Live Fire Team, Anthony Desky, shout out to you. I didn't forget you, man. With the Convoy Live Fire Team, we trained a lot of soldiers. We were out in the cold, man. Chris Miller, thank you. We did a lot of good training. We did a lot of good things for the Army. We were training soldiers to go to get combat ready. And so during that time with the task force, I also got sent TDY to Fort Hood and Fort Bliss, trained with some soldiers. Son Hawkins, shout out to you. Daryl Hawkins, thank you. Masson Fingston, thank you. Floyd Fingston, man. David T, the Good Quinn, Class Spell, all of you guys. This is the plaque that I was presented once I left in 2006, Fort Riley. And to read it to you, because it's backwards, it says presented to Sergeant E5 type James Glass for service on the Convoy and Convoy live fire team, January 2003 through July 2006, Task Force Dependable, Fort Riley, Kansas. This plaque means so much to me now than what it has throughout the years, but now this means a lot. It means so much. Nobody can take this experience away from me. So I left 2006, moved down to Texas, and I ended up joining another unit. My next unit was a 370th Quartermaster Company in Fort Worth, Texas. They've since moved out to another area in Texas. I got to try and find some pictures from when I was with those guys. I do have a T-shirt from when I went to the Non-Commissioned Officers Academy. So I'll talk about them tomorrow a little bit. And then I'll also talk about my segue from being a reservist, coming off mobilization, to getting on AGR and reporting to my first unit in Evansville, Indiana, with the 380th Quartermaster Company. Been coming in contact with my mentor, Mason Ari Hayden, Sean Plaha, and those outstanding soldiers of that time and that era. So with that being said, that's a story for tomorrow. I can't tell you now. So I'll give y'all that tomorrow. 7 days. 7 days going from a soldier to a civilian. It's amazing. So thank you for listening to my drawn out Fort Riley, Kansas stories. Oh, there was some National Guard soldiers that I appreciate also. I can't remember all y'all's names, but we rocked out. John Henry Williams, I can't leave you out of that either, man. Man, I love y'all. We're pushing to the end. So let's keep rocking steady.